Hello, everyone. My name is Najd, and I'm presenting this talk on behalf of my brother Abdullah, or more commonly known online as ARC4G. ARC has spinal muscular atrophy, which limits his physical abilities and makes travel difficult. So I have been helping him present his talk all around the world. Hopefully, I can convey his writing in the best way possible. This talk is written from a first-person perspective, so pretend I am ARC while reading this. Let's get started. Fast forward to my teens and having multiple intensive back surgeries, top of my disability progressing, I found myself losing the ability to hold a gaming controller and not being able to play video games anymore. I tried fighting that realization for a while by trying to convince myself it is only temporary. But the annoying thing about SMA is when you lose an ability, it's gone. So instead of fighting the unstoppable force of SMA, I decided to just go with the flow and try to find an alternative hobby. And after a few months of research and learning, I landed on the perfect alternative, 3D art. The beauty of 3D art and art in general is it doesn't require fast movement or high dexterity. I can take my time creating an artwork using the very slow and limited hand movement I have without worrying about being accurate or fast with my movement. Another great thing about 3D art is the range of devices you can use. Since I can't use a traditional mouse and keyboard, I have to get creative with my tools. For controlling the mouse cursor, I use a regular touchpad, but for controlling the keyboard, I use an app that connects my phone to my PC and use it as a remote with custom shortcut and the phone built-in touch keyboard. The work is done by my thumb, so I have to be careful with managing the time I spend making art. If I spend too much time using my thumb, I risk damaging it, and it might take months to heal. So in the next several years, I used this setup to create hundreds of artworks and shared them everywhere I can. The loop of create and share was very addictive and fun. My first wave of artworks were pretty physics simulations. I was very fascinated by physics, so I created a lot of artworks where physics is the main theme. I regularly posted those artwork on Reddit since it had a dedicated section for physics-themed artworks. I was getting a lot of likes and comments on every post, so that consistent encouragement on my basic simulation and loops made me super happy, which led me to making art every single day and sharing it. My success on Reddit encouraged me to expand further to Instagram and Twitter and try to create bigger and better things, and maybe even go into the professional side of things and get a job in the 3D art industry. That goal quickly evaporated when I realized the level of competition and the high requirements the 3D art industry needs. My basic cute little artworks were not enough. You needed to put extremely long hours to reach the high level the industry required, and due to my physically condition, I wasn't able to push myself to reach those expectations. So I simply decided I will continue making art for fun and not pursue a professional career in the industry. Now we have reached the part of the story where my life completely changed due to a simple comment I received on Twitter when I was honestly posting my daily artwork. The comment was from a platform called Known Organ, and it went like this. These are so cool. You should check out our gallery. You can showcase and sell your experimental work via our platform. I replied, that looks really interesting. that exchange happened on December 2nd, 2019. So NFTs were mostly unknown, and I had no idea what they were. So I started exploring the site and trying to learn. I had trouble minting my first piece since I didn't have any Ethereum to pay the minting fee, and there wasn't any simple, straightforward way for me to process Ethereum since most sites were US or EU only, and I wasn't from those regions. So the amazing person from Knowing Urgence sent me $2 worth of Ethereum to cover the fees. That $2 was enough to pay for the minting fee for a couple of artwork at the time, which is crazy to think about it now because it cost around $100 or more to mint a single artwork. Nowadays, due to the high network usage Ethereum is getting, that $2 started my whole NFT journey since I never had to buy more Ethereum since I just use the profits from the sales I was getting. I made a lot of mistakes with my first mint at the time. NFTs were a small niche which didn't have the knowledge or a privilege of planning our debut with handcrafted launch companies and pre-planned detailed drop like many people are doing now. We just clicked mint at 3:45 a.m., not fully knowing what we are doing. My genesis piece was this loop. I set the price at $6 or so. I don't remember the exact price, but it was around that range. Like I said earlier, I didn't know what I was doing, so I selected multiple edition accidentally instead of one of one, then later burned the rest of the editions, so it became one of one. I was a bit excited about this new world, so minted this warm retro loop around the same time. I wasn't aware of the common practice of receiving secretary by not minting often. I was just minting whenever I felt like it. I still mint whenever I feel like it. Nowadays, I just don't like limiting my creative output for the sake of secretary. 8 hours later, I got a notification saying your artwork was bought for 0.1 Ethereum, which is $14. At the time, I was extremely flattered. Why would anyone buy $14 to buy my art? That's the same price of multiple apps or a full game. I was shocked. After that day, I started researching the space more and started following more crypto artists. And one of those artists was Back. I saw him tweeting about an NFT site called Super Rare. So I applied to it and got my acceptance email in a few days. At the time, the NFT space was extremely tiny, so you almost knew everyone. The artists and collectors all knew each other. It was like a small family. Super Rare played a huge role in my journey. It was the first NFT platform I was getting consistent sale on. I have around 115 NFTs on there, and every single sale is still as magical and surprising as the first. I have gotten to know my collectors throughout the years, and I'm extremely grateful for their support. For my 100th artwork, I teamed up with Alex and Ray to make this interactive artwork that showcased my super rare history from the moment I started my account on February 2020 to March 2021, where you can track all my collectors and art sales on Super Rare in a fun visual way. From there onwards, my memory becomes blurry. I joined more NFT platforms like Foundations, Marketplace, Zora, Bytesky, and landed several NFT getaway drops, and multiple legendary collaboration with amazing artists. The space went from a small community that a few thousand people know about to becoming one of the fastest growing industries so quickly. Every day there was some big news or some big sale or a new platform trying to recruit artists, and it was very chaotic. It was a stressful time because I felt like the space was growing faster than me. My disability didn't allow me to keep up with the speed of the industry. Everyone was doing bigger and more complex things. I was getting slightly frustrated, but it wasn't anyone's fault. You can't expect everyone to slow down because you can't keep up. So I decided to relax and just continue creating art and not worry about growing into an NFT superstar. Ironically, my highest selling artwork was artwork making fun of the NFT industry. Obsession with higher and higher sales, it was an infinite scrolling screen of sale announcement. I made it as a quick joke because I was getting slightly frustrated with my feed being folded with drop announcement and people freaking out about another large record-breaking NFT sale that was happening almost every day at the time. Every person will have a different experience with NFTs, with different pros and cons. For me, it was extremely positive. It allowed me to become independent and support myself financially, as well as have an amazing, fulfilling art career. The regular 3D art industry is extremely hostile to people with disabilities. It is an extremely competitive environment with long hours, extremely high expectation, and unrealistic deadlines even for a full able-bodied person, let alone someone with a disability. So I'm extremely glad I found my path with NFTs and be able to create art on my own pace. When I say I'm grateful for NFTs, I don't mean just the tech. The tech itself, it's meaningless without the amazing people that created a welcoming environment for people like me to thrive in. Every single step I took in this sense, there was always a person helping and supporting. When I say I'm grateful for NFTs, I don't mean just the tech. The tech itself is meaningless without the amazing people that created. There is no better example than my sister right now reading this on stage across the globe on my behalf in front of hundreds of people with English being her second language. It is a bit meta. Thank you. It is a bit meta to have her read her own thank you letter, but I can't really think of any better example of someone willing to go so far to help. People helping people is the core foundation of my humble success in the NFT art scene. There is so many names and stories I can mention that helped me in so many amazing ways, but I'm trying to keep my talk short and sweet. I appreciate everyone who helped facilitate this talk and everyone who attended. I hope this insight into my journey was helpful and entertaining. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.